Hey Salty Dog Nation, Chef Herb back at you down here at South Beach Marina Village to get you caught up on things going on down here. We have the Preakness coming up. Myself, I'm from Baltimore. It's a horse race. It's the second leg of the Triple Crown, if you're familiar with horse racing. We're gonna have a menu that Saturday, and here are a couple entrees from it. We're doing a crab cake taco, which is my Maryland crab cake recipe. We're gonna put them on locally sourced corn tortillas. It's gonna have a little pico de gallo, a little cotija cheese, Old Bay aioli that's gonna be served with tortilla chips and salsa. And also, this big time in Maryland is pit beef, and this is a little take on a pit beef sandwich, which is gonna be shaved top round. It's gonna have crispy onion strings. It's gonna have a Crouching Tiger sauce on top of that on grilled Texas toast, and it's gonna be served with crispy French fries. So come on down here, Preakness, get some Maryland goodness down here in South Carolina.
Hey, Salty Dog Worldwide. This is your man on the street here, Timmy Curbside. We're going to do a little new segment here on Salty Dog TV. Says, get to know a manager. So this is Chris Marshall. If you're a local or a frequent visitor, of course you know Chris Marshall. He's the assistant general manager here at the world famous Salty Dog Cafe in beautiful Hilton Head Island. And we're in South Beach Marina here on a beautiful spring morning. So Chris, I think I've known you for about 15 years. When did you start with Salty Dog?
About 15 years ago.
And it's been 15 years of sheer joy.
Absolutely.
Good answer, Chris. And what's one of your favorite things about working at the Salty Dog?
The favorite thing I always say, you don't have four walls. You're outside a lot, mixing with the guests, and having a good time.
Perfect. And how did you get the nickname Magic Marshall?
Because I just work my magic on the guests. Just go in and help them out if they have any issues and talk to them and engage and work my magic so they can have a great time at legendary service.
Beautiful answer, Christopher. When you're not at work, and I know you're here quite frequently, I see you all the time, what are some things you enjoy doing outside of work?
Well, I enjoy mowing the lawn, washing my car, and just enjoying with the family, having a good time.
Is it true you wear golf spikes when you cut the grass?
That is very true. So it helps the lawn aerate a little bit. So when you're golf spikes and you're walking, and the grass aerates. That is a very true statement.
And I will end with this question here. This might be a surprising one for everyone out there, but you live in kind of a resort community. You moved here about 15 years ago. The weather's beautiful a lot of the year, and I'm just going to ask you point blank, do you own a pair of flip-flops?
I do not own a pair of flip-flops.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Magic Marshall.
What's up, Salty Dog World? Big Z here to talk tides. So first of all, what is a tide? A tide is the change in the depth of the ocean, and it's forced by the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon. So you get 2 high tides every day and 2 low tides every day. So high tide is when the moon and the sun are traveling over land and it pulls the deeper water onto shore. And then as everything rotates and the moon and the sun are back over in the middle of the ocean, it starts pulling that water back out to sea. So that's the basics of a tide.
Here in the low country, we get some pretty extreme tide swings. So twice a month, we get what's called a spring tide. And that's when the earth, the sun, and the moon line up perfectly and the force is at its max. So you get a really big tide and a really low tide. So here in the low country, we're about an hour past low tide, and that depth can change all the way up to 10 feet. So it's a pretty extreme change here. And the reason for that is the South Carolina coast has a very shallow shelf offshore. It's not very deep, and then we have huge rivers, creeks, and big channels. So as the water dumps into those bigger channels, it takes a lot more force to pull back out. So you got deep inshore water and very shallow offshore water, and that creates big tide swings here, where if you go along the rest of the continental East Coast, it's much more subtle. There are places up in Nova Scotia and Alaska that swing 50 feet in one tide cycle. So like I said, we're an hour after low tide, so in a few hours, let's check back in and see the difference in the way this water looks at high tide. Well, I waited a few hours to come down to the marina, and as you can see, there's a lot more water in the marina right now. So we're about an hour from high tide, and just to break down what that means, there's a 12-hour and 25-minute interval between high tides and also between low tides. So every 6 hours and 12 minutes, you're gonna have a low and a high. So that's why you're at the beach at Hilton Head. You're gonna have to move that chair quite a bit to keep up with the tides each day. So come on down and check us out and have a great day.
Hey Salty Dog Worldwide, it's Nathan here, aka the guy that doesn't fish, the guy that catches. We're over here in Blue Water Bait and Tackle. I'm just going to run you through a couple things. If you're visiting on vacation, some tackle that you might want to check out. So over here we have a couple different selections. We have some rods in the price range of about 28 bucks. It's not going to break the bank. We have a heavier surf rod, and then we have a little bit of a lighter rod with a little popping cork on top for if you're fishing the jetties or in any of the small ponds. That would be something you would definitely want to use. Any of your surf rods is going to be out there in the Calabogie Sound or out on the ocean. A couple other things that you might need. When you're going for the big sharks, we got our sand spikes over here. Basically what you do is you just put this into the ground, put your rod in there, loosen your drag a little bit after you cast out, hopefully get one of them big sharks. In order to get those big sharks, we got some of our frozen product over here. We got finger mullet, we got large mullet, we got squid, and then if you wanted to use some crabbing, we also have chicken necks as well. Coming over this way, if you don't want to get a rod that's already rigged up, we have any of your terminal tackle you might need. We got popping corks, swivels, any of our hooks. We got some bottom rigs set up here. We have some double spread rigs here as well. This would be for whiting or flounder or any of those bottom fish, stingrays as well. Once you get all your tackle, your rod, and your bait, head on out in tight lines.
Welcome back to Land's End Tavern. We are excited this year with our new menu, and one of our new signature cocktails that we're featuring is our little spin on the Mai Tai. It is a Rye Tai. We're gonna start off with our Knob Creek, a little splash of bitters, some fresh pineapple juice, and a little amaretto syrup. And then we're gonna top it with some cherries. Come see us and enjoy.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Timmy Curbside here, back at you. We're doing our newest segment, Meet a Salty Dog Manager. Today we have Trey Singletary. He's our, well, what's your title? What's your official title, Trey?
A transportation manager and housing manager.
He just made that up right now. What does that entail, Trey?
I deal with our interns mainly. We have interns that come in all over the world, and I pick them up from the airport, make sure they get back and forth to work. I'm also our housing for them. I take care of that. I'm like their landlord. Make sure their maintenance and everything's taken care of for them.
Do the interns typically behave in our units?
For the most part, yes. Very few problems that we ever have out of them.
And what'd you do before you became our transportation manager?
I was an over-the-road truck driver. Drove all over the United States. Logged over 1 million miles in probably 9 years. Accident-free, of course. Out there delivering freight from state to state.
So 1 million miles in 9 years. How many miles would you guess we put on the company vehicles with bringing people to work and to and fro and this and that? How many would you guess?
In a year's time, we do about 60,000 miles a year.
That's quite a bit. And when you're not here, what do you enjoy doing?
I enjoy fishing. I'm also riding my motorcycle. I'm also a boat captain. Like to get out on the water just as much as I can.
Well, I appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Salty Dog Worldwide, it's Nate back here again, AKA the guy that doesn't fish, the guy that catches. Gonna show you some of our freshwater baits that we have if you're out here fishing as a guest here in Sea Pines in our forest preserve, or even out in Bluffton. There's some great local bass, crappie, bluegill fishing as well. Come on in. We got Gary Yamamoto, it's some soft plastics. We have a Rapala floating 3-inch minnow replica. We have a frog, which is a topwater bait. We have a rooster tail, which is a spinning bait. And then we have some J-hooks here for our Gary Yamamoto soft plastics. And I can kind of show you how to rig up one of those. So basically what you have here is you have your J-hook. You have your soft plastic right here. You're gonna go in about 1/4 of an inch, come out the bottom. And basically when it gets to this point, you're gonna twist it and turn it so that it's at the very top. You're gonna measure about where the hook's gonna go in. Get your soft plastic rigged. And if you're fishing a lot of weeds, you can actually skin hook it, and then you have a weedless product right here. All right, so if you're fishing out in local Bluffton or over here as a guest in Sea Pines, you can get some great largemouth, crappie, and bluegill. Come on down, check it out.
Hey, Salty Dog Worldwide, it's Timmy Curbside back at you with our newest feature here, Meet a Crew Member. Today we have Bo with us. We'll get started with, Bo, how long you've worked at the Salty Dog?
I'm like 13 years already.
13 years of pure bliss, correct?
Yes, sir.
Good answer. And what's your favorite thing about working at the Salty Dog?
My favorite is I meet a lot of people from all over the world. Every week different people, and sometimes coming same people back, so that's my favorite part.
Great. And what do you do here at Salty Dog?
I'm the food running in the cafe.
So you make sure everybody gets their food in a timely manner.
Yeah, I try make him happy like me, so I feed them.
How many steps a day would you think you take during the summer?
One day I have a like step meter or something like this. Was 14 miles.
That's a lot of steps, 14 miles.
And I still got it, so I don't know. I did a 20 maybe.
And what do you enjoy doing when you're not at work?
Go on the beach with the kids. It's beautiful beaches here, and in the pool too, so.
I'll finish with this question. Do you wear flip-flops?
Yes, all the time, all the year. All no work, so.
Good answer. Ladies and gentlemen, Bo.
Thank you.
Hey, Salty Dog Nation, Chef Herb, AKA Mr. Chef-tastic, here to reintroduce an entree that keeps on coming back on our special events menus, and that's the Jaconator. This monstrosity right here is a double bacon cheeseburger on grilled cheese buns, crispy fries, hush puppy, and a pickle. So good, you'll eat the garnish.
All right, Salty Dog friends and family, it's your boy Big Frosty here in the next rendition of Parking Lot Cooking. We're gonna make our shrimp ceviche stack. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out with our ring mold here and get it on our plate. What we have, our first layer is gonna be some smashed avocado. And I wanna put that in there and make a nice even layer. Get it all the way to the edges. Next up here, we have some nice diced mango, nice and sweet. Again, make sure that's a nice even layer. And then finishing it off with our ceviche mix. So basically we have some shrimp, tomatoes, jalapeno, lime juice, cilantro. And we're gonna top it off right here. Gonna wanna make sure that we press that down nice and firm. All right, we got everything all nice and pressed down. We're gonna remove this from our ring mold. Carefully, gently. All right, we got our nice little stack right there. We're gonna finish it off with a little bit of chipotle aioli and a little bit of fresh tortilla chips. Y'all come on down and give it a shot.